confirmation that there's not a lien on the property. I've talked to Owen. I think that might be it after the. If you're on YouTube.
I believe there is. All the loans were backed by the bonds and not the.
There's not, but I don't know, like, is there like a specific like form or something? And then.
Is that YouTube and everything?
Yep.
All right, good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, August 27th, 9 a.m. I will call this meeting of the Board of Harbor Commissioners for the town of La Pointe to order. With us this morning, we have Mary Ross.
Here.
Jay Wiltz.
Here.
Michael Collins.
Here.
Evan Erickson.
Here.
Myself. Glenn Carlson.
Here.
Via Zoom, we have Susie Woodmer.
Here.
Staff present, Katie Kisner. And numerous members of the public.
Shouldn't represent that before.
No, she is here to. We also have Shannon Major from Apostle Islands Cruise Service. That's an agenda item.
He didn't mention it.
So first up on the agenda is public comment.
It's in our mailbox.
Get away, Dave.
So when the ferry was privately owned, they gave free passage to the Catholic priest that comes over for mass on Sunday, Saturday.
Saturday.
Can you hear me?
Yes, it's Saturday, not Sunday.
Thank you. She loves to correct me.
Yes, I do.
Saturday evening. And since the town has taken that over, he now has to pay his way over. And I'm here to ask that he, and also, I think, for fairness, we should extend that courtesy to the minister at the UCC church. I understand that while the commission was looking if it was possible to give the firefighters and EMTs free passage. They
Reduced. Not free, reduced.
Okay, thank you. They found a passage in the state law that lists a group of people who could be given free passage or reduced passage. And first person or the first group was ministers who spread the gospel. That might be close to it.
Sounds like members of the clergy.
I felt was a very strange wording that they would say people spreading the gospel rather than all clergy. So I'm asking if courtesy could be extended to our priest. And just as a side note, next year, that little church across the street will be 125 years old. So we are planning some celebrations that would probably include bringing the bishop from Superior over for those celebrations.
Thank you. We'll definitely take that under consideration. Is there any other public?
Yeah.
Last year, I wrote a letter to, I have copies of it here. To this committee about my concern,
The mooring area?
no, not the mooring. Safety of, no weights. And I got, a verbal out on the back from Jay, but there's still no sign, so I was wondering what you decided.
So I don't know if you saw, but we addressed it, I think 2 meetings ago, was it?
Hmm.
The no wake zone? Cal is looking into where it could go, Connie,
Yeah.
and who's in charge of putting it on the break wall where kind of the most of the boaters would see it. He wanted, I think the US Corps of Army Engineers had to weigh in on that.
Yeah, it's,
Potentially, so
And probably
But-
the Coast Guard too.
Cal was Looking into it. Cal runs Miffle.
Linehan.
He runs. Oh, yeah.
So we got the top guy on it, Connie.
Okay.
Anyone else have public comment? There's none. Let's move on to the minutes of the August 10th meeting.
I move their approval.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next up, Chief Administrative Officer report.
Yes, so the current balance of the Harbor Commission bank accounts, this was as of Monday, August 24th. The Miffle utility checking account was at $232,170.50. August revenue as of Friday, the 21st was at just over 937,000, which is 73% of the budgeted income for the month. And then the budget committee, we did have our first meeting yesterday. Kind of going through, and I feel like we're already a lot further ahead than we were starting in the past couple years. The big thing we're waiting on now is the capital projects breakdown of what's happened this year, what's rolling into next year, what needs to happen next year. Two things that were one thing that was brought up, that might be a potential future agenda item. In the management contract, it does state that Miffle is basically responsible for the upkeep of the buildings, that operations are going from. It does not state anywhere that Miffle is responsible for, the Miffle office now, the office space that we're renting, as well as the actual dock upkeep. And Cal has requested that there potentially be a contract stating that that is the expectation for Miffle to maintain those.
I'd like to add a comment to that, that there was a kind of a line around the office being our rental. We're responsible for this and that. And the fact that they actually do the work most of the time. Same going on with other properties and the dock itself. And wondering who's paying home to get it done.
Yeah, so they're currently upkeeping the Miffle office as well as the dock, and those repairs are coming out of their budget. We discussed potentially just making it separate line item that is accounted for in the budget overall. We got a couple different options, but
So the dock repairs include like raising and lowering, or do you know?
things like, Cal's example was like putting
New railing.
like a new railing in, and
And
things
they
like
put
that.
that chain between the passenger aisle and the first line of cars. There was never a chain there. There were just cones.
What's the other party said about where the dock ends and their responsibility starts and ends? Do you remember that part? Mayor?
I didn't understand what you said, Susie.
You're a little bit hard to hear, Susie. But I think she said question as to where the responsibility begins and ends with.
Essentially, yeah, just
The dock.
At the dock, is it above the water, below the water? Those are all questions that Cal raised.
I think it warrants further discussion as an agenda item. Have you heard anything official from Bayfield School District regarding the contract?
I have not.
I witnessed the approval, actually Michaela witnessed the approval, but I was just wondering if they've reached out.
Great. Cal had reached out, asking and copied me on it, but there was no response to that.
I've also heard that it was approved.
Mhm.
I may have heard it from
You
you.
did, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know if they'd reached out with the signed documents yet.
Follow up with them on that.
In any update on the discipline cards for fire and EMS, that's being processed Or were they waiting for the tariff, for the railroad commission date to pass?
I am not sure. I'll touch base with the office to see where they're at with that.
Great, thank you.
Anything else for Katie? I will move that we place the chief administrative officer report on file.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
I,
Aye.
I,
As you know.
Yep, we let the record reflect that Cal arrived. Opposed? I don't know if I finished that vote or not. Motion carries. Tariff administrative policy discussion.
great. I have a statement prepared.
It's in the packet, right?
Susie, are you talking about
I'm
Number
talking about
8.
here. I'm ready. Yes,
or on number 6?
Tariff administrative policy.
Charity. That's not me. Pardon me.
So the tariff committee, met to discuss, what we would consider language for a family member. And, Glenn came up with the language put in front of you. For the purposes of the 50% fair reduction available to members in good standing with the fire, and EMS. A family member is, a member's spouse, a registered domestic partner, and then any stepchild or child or stepchild under the age of 18. How we want to define family member for this discount card.
And this is a commonly employed description of family member.
Mhm.
okay, it conflicts with the free ferry for the school kids. Cause they get that through, September 1st after they graduate, so they're 18.
It's not in school.
No, if they've graduated from high school in June, they still get free ferry for the following summer. I'm assuming that's still the policy?
This doesn't change that.
It
Well,
doesn't.
it would affect Max. It would affect the Wiggins kids.
No, I'm saying, we're saying that there are alternate ways to get reduced or free. This is one of them. If you're a fire or EMS person or a member of the family, another one is if you're a student that graduated, you know, that you get the completely free until the following summer.
I guess it just doesn't really conflict. Like, I mean, half
It just messes-
free, but it,
Mixes, muddies it a little.
yeah, I
Might be the
get
way to
what
put
you're
it.
saying. Yeah,
Neither one supersedes the other.
The other.
right.
They're not mutually exclusive. Well, I'll move that we adopt that as our policy.
On second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
I,
I,
Hi,
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, after hours EMS trips discussion.
thank you, Cal, for the it's well presented, and I think it makes sense. I mean, we don't want to discourage people from taking the ambulance if that's needed. And I can see the point of that obstacle. This is in the tariff though, right?
yeah, it's a item.
And a special day trip is more expensive now than a 350. The special day trip is $450.
Yes, there's a lot of, I mean, we could have that match as well. The realistically, the special day trip for an ambulance is incredibly rare for us to actually bill. It requires a lot of. It requires a pretty specific situation for us to actually bill for that like it impedes the normal operation of the vessel. You know, we had to. We were like 2 minutes away from landing in Bayfield. We got a call, we turned around, you know, something we typically don't, but you know, I certainly think having them both match at 350 would be OE solution.
Well, the day trip special was used for mostly the fuel truck when, such as, Midland. When the rate for that fuel truck was under the
Right.
special day special, that's when they were charged the day special, because they have to have them both.
So I mean, I think the cleanest way would just be all special EMS trips are X cost, regardless of time.
Mhm.
And then we keep the day special the same. You know, we keep everything else the same, you know, the after hours for Big Top, you know, all of those things remains the same. This is just solely for an EMS trip and it doesn't have a time. It's just if we have to make a special trip, which again, during the day is incredibly rare. We rarely would classify it as a special trip during normal operation hours.
If the ferry is just emptied and they start loading and the ambulance comes firing down the dock, does it become a special trip if they drive right out of the boat and you guys leave without loading the rest of the boat?
That's exactly, those are the type of situations that could warrant it, where effectively it becomes like we had to, you know,
Gotta go.
yeah, you know, where it can't wait the 2 more minutes to, you know, load the rest of the traffic, where, you know, we're again, almost all the way to Bayfield and we have to turn around. That's
Oh,
typically
that's
what
extreme.
we'll bill for that. But outside of those, like, and those are incredibly rare. In the, you know, the 11 years here, I've seen a very small handful of those.
I think this is really well reached and it's something a lot coming.
May result in higher returns.
Yep.
Well,
Does it conflict though with police and XL? I mean, how, are we gonna differentiate or were they any kind of emergency?
I would say it's specifically the ambulance.
I would agree with that.
I don't have it.
I think as long as we can differentiate for medical trips, that'll be really helpful. Then people won't say, I want a special boat for $350.
right.
And it would apply to self-transports as well. But, you know, in order to do a self-transport, it is our policy that the ambulance has to show up in any situation. And they have to sign release to the ambulance, because we got into that issue before where they show up and they say, I'm self-transport. And we're like, okay, well, we are not medical professionals. So if something happens to you on the boat, now we can't operate the vessel. We're dealing with your medical emergency, or you know, something severe happens. We can't be responsible for that. So now even a self-transport at midnight requires the sign.
Smart.
Should we check with the railroad commission to make sure we can have a different night special rate?
This isn't just night, you're saying all
All the
special,
all the
all
time.
Oh,
ambulance trips.
All self-transports.
Make sure it follows the
And
schedule.
ambulance transports.
Yeah,
What
I
not,
think
what
if-
about self? Isn't it? You
It'd be the
say
same
the
price.
ambulance has to be there and sign off if somebody's gonna self-transport. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes.
I move that we adopt this and propose this as a tariff to the Railroad Commission at our next opportunity.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Opposed? Motion carries.
Good call.
I'd like to
Yes.
thank Sarah on that. I think they're really big part of it.
Thank you.
Now you're up, Susie. Harbor Commission Long-Term Finance Task Force update.
No, we need the green fleet. We're on number 9.
Great.
Oh, oops.
what happened to number 8?
All right.
Okay, we have a long-term finance task force update of the proposals that we sent out. We sent several requests to banks around the region. Northern Bank of Commerce in NBC in Duluth is prepared to have the Harbor Commission in town choose a path that may meet our needs. That gives us a lot of options to do nothing or do everything or some creative thing in between. Then we make our application based on whatever we will construct to shoot back to them. All the other proposals they all declined. Task force and the town treasurer and the town administrator will evaluate the options with us. So the task force can write and submit its report of evaluation and recommendations, which is due no later than September 25th.
What was that date?
25 September.
25.
Okay.
I think it was
So-
scheduled for a meeting on the 24th, so I'm
So
sure
Susie, what I'm hearing is that you've got a proposal, or you are expecting a proposal from one bank. And is the task force meeting soon to
Yes.
discuss?
our next scheduled meeting is on September 1st. We've got invitations out to these people and one to the town chairman to also attend if he chooses. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about, and September 1st is already on the calendar and we're set to go.
Thank you.
Anything else there? Let's move on to the discussion of Green Fleet EV chargers with Excel. I asked Katie to put this on the agenda. We'd received a request from this Green Fleet organization. Seeing if we were interested in designating some parking spots to EV charging in Bayfield. I requested to have, or I asked Katie to request a formal proposal from him. And we've got sort of a short version. I was hoping that there would be some money in it for the ferry operations, but I don't know if that's the case. And again, we have not seen a formal proposal. I think at this time, we're looking for consensus as to whether we continue with
We're in the parking lot?
somewhere in
Where?
Bayfield. I
It
don't
would be
know.
4 designated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
That is a ton.
And if there was nothing in it for us, I don't see us doing it, but if the.
Have they approached the city in Bayfield? I mean, why are they looking at a small parking lot to put these in? Why not on a city street?
Especially for spots.
Yeah, they may require, it may be a requirement that they're on private property. I know that the energy committee, the town energy committee was looking at some grant opportunities for these, and there were a lot of requirements.
Has there ever been a request for one, Cal, that you know of?
Yes, and that's what I just wanted to comment on is Bayfield and the island are very underserved for electrical charging infrastructure. Washburn just put in at IGA, they're just about going on.
Mhm.
You know, my thought on this was it would be in the town's best interest, the Fresh Farms' best interest if they were on the island. You know, because again, then they're coming over here, they're over here, the cars coming over, you know, it kind of makes sense. Well, they went through the ferry and they're over here now and they're charging the car. It makes exploring the island that much easier, you know, for people without the range anxiety. So there has been needs. I don't know how many years ago it was when Teslas were just starting to become more popular. They couldn't even make it up here without, you know, finding somewhere to plug in for 48 hours. I was actually able to make an adapter from one of the shore plugs on the boats, you know, to charge them. But it's still, since even then, the Bayfield Inn has one for their guests only. There's not a lot in the area for that. So I think it's something in demand that a lot of people ask for it, but my opinion was, why not put it on the island first?
I agree. That's a good point.
Isn't there one in Bayfield right now also? Katie,
Bayfield Inn.
used to charge her car.
She just plugs in. I mean, it's like the equivalent of a toaster. You know, it doesn't really put in any juice. She just used her own.
Oh, it wasn't something the
No, no.
ferry line put in.
No.
Oh.
It was just went into a standard 120 tiny little outlet. It pulled hardly. any
There
power.
is an official charging station at the Bayfield Inn
But for the guests only.
For guests only.
for guests only.
And there is one at the yacht club here. They have 4 spots.
Yeah, they do have a couple spots at the yacht club.
But I
And
suppose
the energy
limited to
committee
members.
was. There may be grant opportunities where we could reap all of the benefits
Mhm.
versus minimal or no payout, you know, through this company. The nice thing about them is they handle the installation, the maintenance and all of that. But
I think it'd be cool if parking wasn't such a premium over there, especially in the winter. I mean, we're just, everyone's fighting for
And
every
they,
spot.
and those spots have to be designated,
Yeah.
EV charging only, you can't.
Well, it becomes very permanent on the Bayfield side as far as the current configuration of any of the parking, whether it's on the brick side or the dirt side. Are we prepared to take whatever we commit to that, and any future planning or layout would have to revolve around that?
Well, it sounds like we're not wanting to go forward with this proposal.
Well, we don't really have a proposal.
Okay,
The
well,
the goal would be to maybe get a proposal.
I would say no.
Okay. That's-
Who is interacting with them? Is that-
It was an email that came to
Yeah,
Max.
just emailed them asking them for
They forwarded it.
basic
I would like the
proposal.
notion of considering on this side, because that really is where it's needed.
I would
The
like
town
to
has-
amend that idea.
The town has excess
Yeah.
capacity that it's generating, got the solar panels by the library.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, we wouldn't even need to do, you know, anything
Yeah.
like that. You know,
I
it'd be
think we
free
should-
power for us. So
We should
I'd
pass
say
it
let-
along. Sorry,
I'd say let the town work on that.
Okay.
pass it back to the town. I agree.
Next up, Fossil Island Cruise Service use of town dock. And this,
How often?
Shannon had reached out to Max, with a request for, I think, a specific date. I don't have very many details. But I'll let you take it away, Shannon, if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, perfect. Sorry, I'm on my headphones, so I just want to make sure. Hiding in my car. So the issue that we've run into, and I understand Elena and the yacht club's position on it, if we need to do any charters during their regular fuel dock hours, I only charge about $2,000 for a charger or a charter, and that's what she's requiring during fuel dock hours that they pay to use that space. So what we're looking at is on September 5th, we have a wedding that we're just literally being the shuttle to bring the people over and drop them off on the island. And we were asking to use the outside of that city dock, right where like Arnie unloads and loads his rock and gravel.
Oh. How are you gonna pick
maybe
them
there's
and put them over the wall?
The boat sits level with said wall, and there's a break in that wall and that railing, you know where the chain is that you guys were discussing earlier that you've added? There's an opening in the railing there.
Not the end of the
Correct?
dock.
Yeah,
Not at the
not at the
The
end of
side of the
the
dock. Yeah.
I'm talking about the side of the dock, right?
Yeah, not the
Well,
end.
yeah. Arnie's
Not the end.
Arnie uses the end for gravel work.
They have sometimes loaded and unloaded on the side of the dock
Yeah.
there where
Yeah.
I'm just.
And there
is
is
a
a
break.
There is.
And there is a break in that wall. And maybe this is an opportunity for a future relationship. Maybe we can do charters off that city dock as well for a fee. I'm not sure where you guys stand on that. But we're just kind of in a bind with the September 5th wedding.
Is it
We
a
would
full
make
boat, Shannon?
two
Is it-
trips.
is-
No, Mary, it's like 20 people per trip.
So
It's on
we
the
are talking
ABX,
about
the smaller.
We're talking about a one-time situation, or are we talking about a policy here?
As of right now, I'm asking for a one-time situation.
Right,
I'm more
and
than
that-
willing to discuss a policy going forward, but I'm not asking you guys to pull that out of the hat today.
Got it. Thanks.
And it is the Saturday of Labor Day weekend.
It is the
Nice.
Saturday of
Oh.
Labor Day weekend. So it was a little bit of a sticker shock to these people that I'm only charging 1,500 for the charter itself. When they called and talked to Elena and got a $2,000 price point when it's literally just a touch and go.
Mhm.
And even Arnie Nelson's birthday, I had to really finagle with Elena to get that drop down for Arnie. She's pretty adamant about it, which I respect.
Any weddings?
And I
coming
carry
up?
all my own insurance and I carry, get you guys a certificate of insurance. I'm not asking to do it for free. I want to build a relationship going forward with the town, the Harbor Commission, if at all possible.
Is there any competing demand on that date for that space?
That
I would
space
think
ever get
so.
you.
No. just be a lot of people.
Other than ferry traffic.
And your crew would be in charge of making sure the safe transition of the passengers?
We would do everything. We're not asking for any assistance. We're just asking for, you know, the flat surface to put the boat against.
I'd be curious what Cal thinks.
Where's the location of this is?
Or
The west side of the.
Just on the dockside.
By the passenger.
Just in
aisle,
front of
passenger
dockside.
where those two sections of railing were taken out.
lane. And sometimes Arnie loads, he doesn't,
Excavator.
yeah, the equipment.
Yeah.
I think he'll load rock there every once in a while.
And it's 2 trips, you said, and roughly how many people?
20.
Like 30, 40 maybe at the tops. And Cal, I'm not in the market to do this on a regular basis. This lady literally begged me for about 4 months to say yes. I don't want to transport people as a service. I want to give them charters and an experience.
I don't see it operationally effective just for creating a safety concern on the dock.
Shannon, what time, do you know, roughly?
Mary, that's not in my email, but I can certainly definitely get it to you guys. Courtney has it. My office manager's out today.
Shannon, does your customers happen to be a Dana or Jeremy?
I cannot answer that. I have not set up said charter.
Okay, I
me see
received
if I
an
can
email
switch
with
gears.
the same request from them and I have the times and stuff. I believe I was.
Yeah, I
probably the
have a
one that-
feeling, Courtney said, here, reach out to these guys and see if you can get them to agree to it. And then I just took matters into my own hands.
Okay, yeah, I think I steered her towards the yacht club, so.
Yeah,
Because
we're
we didn't have
bouncing
any
back and forth.
transient spots.
Yeah, we're bouncing back and forth. I've already looked at the transient spots. They don't have one to accommodate me
Mhm.
on that day.
Did you have a dollar amount in mind?
So what I do is I pay the yacht club $350 after hours to dock there. And I was looking at keeping the same structure. If that appeases you guys, I don't really know
We're not that.
what that price point would be for you guys, because you have a bunch of different tariffs and rules that you have to follow. So I know that gets a little dicey.
I think there's,
But I don't
think-
think the Harbor Commission has to because it's not our dock, it's the town's dock.
Right. Okay. So then I was directed to talk to the Harbor Commission because you guys were meeting earlier than the town. They would
Mhm.
still have to do approval, right?
We would make a recommendation or
Yes.
even just approve it potentially.
Yeah. So that's why we're here today. And I thank you for
Cool.
your time.
Well, Shannon, I certainly understand the dilemma and we want to be good neighbors. And I think to discourage this from becoming a regular thing, because I don't know that we're prepared for that. I think it should be slightly more than what you were paying the yacht club. So I would think like 400 to 500 would be more in line.
I was gonna bring up something that I don't know what the rules are, but I think there is something about the town competing, like a
Mhm.
funded business competing against private business. I'm not sure what that is, but I was just gonna suggest that it at least be in line with whatever the marina or somebody else would be charging.
Yeah.
So then we're not in competition.
So that we wouldn't be undercutting a private entity
Right.
with tax dollars, I think is a rule.
Well, why don't we?
It's not really a service though.
No.
I don't know. I was just throwing it
I
out.
think that makes some sense. I'll propose that we allow this one time for a fee of $500.
I'll second that. Is that agreeable, Shannon?
Do you have any idea what the email? said?
Yeah,
What
well,
time?
it's on the customer that is
Is it
going to have to be
4
paying the
o'clock in
fee. So I'll have to
Yeah.
discuss that with them as well.
I think it was like 2.
So
Yeah.
yes, I am in agreement. I just
second?
don't know what the customer is going to say.
But if we give them this yes, then they've got what they've got. And I don't want to think that we have them over a barrel, but we have them over a barrel.
We're not trying to take advantage of this situation.
And this is a one-time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't, I don't like the idea of having someone over the barrel.
At all.
Well, and I don't like
Yeah.
the idea of being over the barrel. So if you're
Yeah.
gonna use that terminology,
Yeah.
then
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
necessary,
Yeah.
right? Like I get you guys as a business, but I'm trying to be a working neighbor, not take
Yeah.
advantage
No,
of
I-
anybody.
So we've
No.
got a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Call the vote, all in favor?
I,
Opposed? Motion carries. And then Shannon, will you just keep Katie up to, in the loop as whether the customer goes for it and confirm dates? and times?
Absolutely. Yep.
Then I
Absolutely.
assume Max would have to have paperwork in place.
you know, I think that the town board probably anticipates that the Harbor Commission has jurisdiction over the town dock. Cal has his hand up, I think.
And if I could just request that the ferry lines be aware of the plans, just so we can make sure to coordinate it all together and.
Yes.
Yep, certainly.
Yeah,
I'll keep you in the loop.
thank you.
Shannon, I hate to be a pain in the neck, but what if it's blowing west at, 15 knots?
oh, yeah,
Mary,
Yeah.
then we don't go. It's okay.
Okay.
Right? We know what to do and what not to do. Absolutely.
Wait,
And I know
Yeah,
that,
but you're
I know
dealing with
that
a
dock
bride, you
very
might
well.
not understand.
It's not a bride, it's all her other people. I understand that. And that's what I do every day. I crush dreams quite regularly, so it's okay. I'm not afraid of that part.
All right,
Perfect.
let's move on to approval of
Thanks,
bills.
guys.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
And I will move that we pay the bills in the total amount of $189,082.53.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
I,
Opposed? Motion carries. Future agenda items. I've got the request from the church for free passage for clergy. Potential contract between Miffle and the town for dock and office maintenance. Approval of RFP potentially from the long-term finance task committee. Force.
I thought proposals aren't due until the 27th.
It sounds like it sounds
No,
like
no, no.
Susie said they received one and everyone else.
said
Denied
thanks anyway.
Oh,
So whenever it fits in there,
that's what she said then.
whenever we're ready to approve it, we'll get a recommendation, I'm sure, from the long-term source.
Well, that's the purpose of the final report. And there are provisions in the process that we laid out for you earlier that would say there is a decision point there about whether you take our information and run, or whether you dissolve our committee or not. So those are bridges to cross later.
And you needed that by the 25th, like a Harbor Commission decision?
No, we need to present you with a paper that lays out what we're thinking and what we recommend
Okay.
On the 25th.
by the
By the
25th.
25th, okay. So maybe we don't need this on the, whenever, coordinate with Katie, we'll get it on the agenda when, as needed.
Okay.
Katie, do you have a list of the dates that we put out
Yep.
for meetings?
14th would be at 4:30. Monday, September 14th would be the next one.
That works for me.
I'm
That's
not
4:30.
I might not be available.
Good. We could move it to the following
Unless I could
Thursday.
Well, for what stretch of time, Evan, might you not be available?
Depends on the new wife.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well, she said yesterday you guys are going to leave on Saturday, the 19th.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I think that's worth our.
I'll try to make it if I can.
Okay, so Monday, the 14th at 4:30?
I will not be here. I might be able to.
The following one would be the 24th.
I will be gone.
Katie will be gone that entire week. The board meeting on
So-
the fourteenth, Glenn?
September. That was the second Tuesday.
So we're set with the 14th.
I think so.
I'll
Yeah.
open the floor once again for public comment.
Just wanted to add one little piece of information about the Catholic Church. Father Rajesh only comes over during summer from Memorial Day to Labor Day. We have asked him to extend that season to Apple Fest, but it is a shorter period for us.
Okay. There's no more public comment. Let's move on to approved terms of Greenfield Harbor Commission MOU.
I move that we go into closed session under statute 19.851E for the purpose of discussing the terms of the Bayfield Harbor Commission MOU, and also for review of the Midfall Management Contract under 19.851E.
I'll second that. Call a roll call vote. Mary Ross,
Aye.
Jay Wiltz, Susie Widmar,
Aye.
Michael Collins,
Aye.
Evan Erickson.
Aye.
I am an I, Glenn Carlson.
Aye.
Entering closed session at 9:41.